Welcome to Blonde Cards and Crafts. Let's make something together. Hello crafters, today we're going to make this swing card and I'm using the Papercraft Society box number 17. I'll be using the stamps, dies and papers. So this is my card base and I've made this myself with a piece of card that measures 12 by 6 and I've scored it at 6 in the middle. So I've folded it over and I'm going to orientate it so it's a top folding card. Now also with this we're going to use some of these papers, and you get these papers in the kit, but when you get the kit you can also download the papers. So I used up all the papers in the kit and these are ones I downloaded. Both of these measure 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and I'm going to put the shells on the outside and the scene on the inside. I've stamped, die cut and fussy cut some of the images here, and I will be using the dies later on to die cut out some more of the little greenery that comes in that kit. Okay, so I've fussy cut out a sentiment. I'm just struggling to get it out here. I have stamped "Have a Fantastic Day," and then I fussy cut that out, layered that on some blue card and fussy cut around that. This piece measures 3 by 6 and I've scored it on the short side at 1/2 inch, 1.5 and 2.5. And this is going to make the tent fold. This will stop our card from opening too much. So I'm going to fold down all these score lines and I'm doing them in mountain folds. So they're all folding upwards. And although I'm doing them with my fingers here, I will use my bone folder to reinforce those score lines. So this piece is the mechanism and it's 1/2 inch by 3 inches. I've scored it at 1/2 inch, 1.5 and 2.5. And in the middle one, we're going to fold it in half and then we'll be left with these two little tabs at the top. And you can see there, that's the shape that it'll sit in the card. I've punched out a little hole here at the bottom and that's so I can put a brad through that. This piece is going to be the spinning piece and it measures 1 inch by 3 inches, and you can make this any size that you need. I've rounded over the corners at the bottom and punched a hole in here near the top. You can use acetate or you can use cardstock to make this mechanism, and I'm just showing you. I've tried to make sure my punched hole is in the middle and it's close to the top, but you'll see yourself once you pop your mechanism in how it's going to work for you. This is the little brad I have. I have some little brads in my stash. I didn't have a blue one, which I wanted, but I used this sand colored one. Okay, so these are some circle dies that I have in my stash. And when I started crafting, I originally got these and I got them from AliExpress. And I didn't mind getting certain things from the likes of AliExpress, the generic things, but I never got stuff that looked like it was copying someone else's design. So I took this scrap piece of white paper, I took 2 of my dies together and I die cut out this frame. When you nest 2 together, it'll give you a frame and it'll also give you an insert, and I'll keep that white round insert and I can use that on another card. Now I want to die cut an aperture or an opening on the front of my card. So I'll take the smaller of the 2 dies and I will use that to cut out my stitched opening on the front there like that. Now I will first of all stick down the paper that I'm going to put on the front. And I'll leave the glue dry for, I gave it 5 minutes, and then I'm going to put it through my die cutting machine. I'll make sure and open the card so that when it goes through the machine, it only cuts the front. So I have speeded everything up or sped everything up now, and all we need to do is assemble our card. So I'm going to use some Collal Glue. Collal Glue is a great glue. When it dries hard, it dries solid, so it gives strength to a project. So I'm using that around the frame. I'm also going to use it on this piece of patterned paper as well for the scene. My cardstock, my card base is only 250 GSM, so this will give strength to the card base itself. This is our mechanism, and on one side I'm going to put some glue and fold it in half. and I'm folding the tabs down, and now I'm going to put some glue on them. I'm going to meet that up so there's a tab on either side of the score line in the middle, and then fold my card front over. And then you'll see we'll have this little tab then on the inside. So I've slowed down and zoomed in so you can see how the little tab is fitting in there with literally a wing on either side of the score line. I'll just apply then a little bit of pressure down onto the glue, and give it time to set before you go opening it again. And with the glue that I'm using, it doesn't take long at all. So for that tab or mechanism, I have used my Cosmic Shimmer glue. It's a quick grab, and I know that that's going to be nice and strong. I have my acetate piece here. I've put my brad through it. Now I'm going to put it through my little hole in my tab, and then I'm going to close down the wings or the legs of the brad. Now, if you close these down too tight, you'll find that your acetate piece or card piece won't swing very well. So I'm just going to have a little see how it's going to do. And I know once I have my little fish or whatever I put on the front there, the bit of weight to that will help it swing, but it's not swinging great. So I find that if you use a pokey tool behind the leg and bend it around that for both of them, it'll hold your swinging piece in place, but it'll also allow movement there for that. So I have my stingray, and I have a couple of other ones, my puffer fish and my angel fish, but I loved the look of the stingray. I think it takes up a nice bit of space on the front. I'm just making sure I'm happy which one I'm going to choose. Yeah, no, I'm happy with the stingray. I'm going to pick that one. So I'm going to put a little bit of red liner tape on the bottom of my swinging part of the acetate. And then I'm going to stick my little piece onto that, my stingray. And I love it, but I'm just finding the acetate is catching on the top, so I've just trimmed a bit off the top of that there above the brad, and it swings perfectly. It's brilliant. I love it. So one of the little fins or wings of the stingray there was a bit loose, so I just put a bit of red liner tape on the acetate and then stuck down that part of the stingray. Now I know it's well secure on there and it's not going anywhere. And I love it. It's a great movement to this. So there's a shoal of fish in the stamp set, and I want to have some background things going on there. So I'm going to stamp the shoal in a darker blue color, so it looks as if they're in the background. Lovely. Love it. I love playing with it. Okay, so now we want to put our tent piece on, and you can see that if you fold it in half, you have a tab at the bottom on the front and one at the bottom on the back. So I'm just adding the glue to that bottom tab area. Then I'll do it here on the front and then close over the card, close it down in front of it, and then give that a few seconds to take, and there we go, there's the tent fold. So our card will only open up as much as that piece allows. So now it's just decorating the card, and as I said, I stamped and fussy cut and die cut out some of the images that we have here. I was tempted to do the little submarine and do it in yellow, but I thought I'd give that a miss this time and just have it with the sea life down there. And I know that some of these fish wouldn't be actually seen in the sea together, but I just thought it looked fun and whimsical. So as I said, now it's just a matter of choosing what's going to go where and adding my greenery in around it. I'm also going to take my little crab. I'm going to put some googly eyes on him as well. I just think it looks so fun. And for the eyes on the seahorses and fish and stingray, I'm just going to use a drop of glossy accents onto that. And that then will give a bit of shine and a bit of life to them. For my shell, I've put some foam tape behind that. I never know which way is up with these. I mean, it could be upside down the way I have it put, so I apologize if it is, but I don't know. So I've stuck down my "Have a fantastic day," and I've just put some glue at each end and stuck that on there. And it kind of hides where the tent fold, when it's closed, it that gets hidden behind all this, which is worked out neat. I didn't plan it, it's just how it worked out. So lovely. I'm coming to the end now of the assembly. I did have to stand the card up. It helped me with deciding where I was going to put all the pieces. And here I'm just putting the googly eyes on the crab. That's so fun. If I could have put googly eyes on everything, I would have, but I reined myself in. I'm going to stick the crab, like I said, on the front of this card. I think it will balance where the shell is on the other side. And I know they're on the outside and should be on the inside, but there's 2 dies in the die set that comes that will give us some greenery. And I'm just going to pop a few of these in around the front. And then I'm going to put 2 up around the top for where the brad is. Now, when the card is open, you know, when you're swinging it and everything, you can't actually see the brad, but if you kind of tilt it, you can. So you can always cover that up using greenery or flowers, or depending on what kind of card you're making. So I'm going to take 2 of these little pieces and just tuck them in up there at the top. And that will work perfectly then. And I'm sticking them to the card, not to the acetate. So I'm sticking it to the back of that frame part on the front of my card. Perfect. Just making sure that's all stuck down nicely. And there we go. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm delighted with that. So I've cut a piece of white card, and it's the same as the pattern papers, 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I've stamped my sentiment, and I'm going to stamp some of the shoals of fish and stick that on the back. And that'll give us, like I said, somewhere to write a nice message to whoever's getting the card. Now, you could put this on the back when you're sticking the pattern paper on the inside. I forgot. Simple as that. I had the piece of paper, the white card there cut, but I forgot to stick it down, so I'm doing it now. And sure, look, it works fine. You can still stick it down, no problem. So there we go. I'm going to take the glossy accents, dot the eyes, and I'm going to take a Spectrum Noir sparkle pen, and I'm going to go over some of the images with that as well, being very careful not to, you know, tip it off the glossy accents. I should have done it the other way around, folks. Do your sparkle first, leave the glossy accents to last. So there is our swing card. I didn't use any dies for the mechanism. I only used the dies for the opening. One of the crafters that I love to follow is Sam from Mixed Up Crafts. She has brought out a new collection of dies and images for making swing cards. That's what inspired me to make this, and I'm waiting for that collection to arrive, so I'll have to do a tutorial using those dies as well. But here we go. This is our card in motion. Isn't that fabulous? I love it. So here's some images of the card we've made. If you liked my video, please click on the thumbs up down below. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing. And if not, you might click on the bell icon and make sure you click it so that you get all the notifications. So when I post a video, you'll be notified. So thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and will give it a go. And until next time, bye for now.